Boom. Well, for starters, this is Brock Miller and my interviewee, Grant. And before I get started, this interview is for an exercise in a course that I am taking this semester. For the purpose of this exercise, do you consent to for you getting interviewed?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. Would you say that you can still connect with nature today, even with all the industrialization humans have done?
I would definitely say yeah, but that's just because we live here in Boulder, and definitely like talking to a lot of kids from out of state, you realize that they don't grow up with the same kind of experience that you do, and it's just not the same. And I'd say I don't have a problem connecting with nature. Like we live like 2 minutes from Chautauqua, and we can just go out and do whatever we want. But I'd say definitely in today's like in this modern age of like technology, I'd say like technology is like really starting to pull people away, and everything's starting to get super developed, and it's getting harder and harder to be able to like truly like fully remove yourself. Like a pretty good example of this is when I was backpacking up in Denali, one of the dudes I was with, like we're in the backcountry, we're like 40 miles in, and this dude is making calls to his girlfriend. Like we're in like some of the most amazing like landscape we've ever seen in our lives. Everybody's totally disconnected, but this dude still has the ability to call home and be connected with the globe. So I definitely say it's a lot harder for people to connect with nature these days, just because there's so much distracting us from it, and there's so much that's kind of intruding that area.
Yeah. So, like, when was the last time you realized you were like immersed with nature?
Let's see. Actually, yesterday I was guiding a trip down in Clear Creek, and we had some like pretty inexperienced clients, and I'd gone to scope out the rappel route. And I got about halfway down and realized that the route that we were taking wasn't really a viable option. We needed to use our longer ropes. So while the other guide that I was with, he threw down the other ropes and they were coming down, I was just hanging out on this ledge, like completely by myself, probably like 150 feet up off the ground, just no one else there, not tied in, just hanging out on the ledge, just kind of looking out over the canyon. And it was just a really calm and peaceful moment, and I just felt really connected with kind of everything. It was just kind of a good like step back and a big breath, like kind of took me away from like the super stressful week I'd had prior and like the lack of sleep and stuff I'd gotten from earlier in the week. It just kind of let me like step back from that. I wasn't thinking about that at all or what was to come. I was just like enjoying how the air felt and how everything sounded, and just chilling.
So, where would you say you go to feel connected to nature?
Let's see, where would I? If I had to think of somewhere like in town that I go to feel connected with nature, or
anywhere.
Yeah. So if I'm going around town and I want to feel connected with nature, I'll just kind of. There's actually there's a big grass field just outside of Boulder, like to the south. It's kind of like the buffer between Boulder and like El Dorado Springs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this massive field that there's no trees or anything in it really, but you can it's all flat. And to your right, you can look up and you can see the mountains just kind of rising out of the plains. And they just kind of come out of nowhere. And if you look out, you can just kind of see just the rolling plains off in the distance towards Nebraska. And that's just always like a really peaceful area to go to. And I always feel really connected there because there's houses and stuff that you can see in the distance, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like you look out over this like peaceful prairie landscape and you've got the mountains kind of rolling up out of it. It's just a really, really unique area.
Do you think that like everyone should everyone immerse themselves into nature, or is it just like for certain people?
Yeah, so I think that definitely everybody should experience nature. I think that everybody should, like, if they get the opportunity, go on a hike somewhere, like enjoy the scenery, or even like go on a drive along like a scenic highway. Like that's still kind of experiencing nature, and I think that people just need to get away from big cities more, and just kind of even experience just like the countryside, even if that's not like 100% nature. It's still this really nice kind of environment that kind of pulls you away from what you're used to, and it's a new experience. But that said, I don't think that like there's certain aspects of like nature that aren't for everybody. Like not everybody's into rock climbing, not everybody's into backpacking, not everybody's into canoeing. It's just kind of finding what you like to do and finding the part of nature that you find most calming and understanding what you like about that kind of restricts you. Like if you just like going out and like seeing something pretty, like sure, that's one approach to nature. But if you're someone who like your religion is climbing like 14C in Yosemite, like, and just like killing yourself for like 45 days straight, like working on just like the smallest, most difficult moves you can find, like maybe you're that person, but there's like a huge spectrum in between that that I think that everybody has their spot in. But I think that everybody definitely should experience nature in some way, shape, or form. Whether it be something as simple as hiking or like something as extreme as like a 100-day like canoeing trip around Alaska or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.